So by request, I'll show you how I catch the retest when I'm not at my computer. I'll show my alert setup and how I secure profit once I enter. And as always, there's a live example inside. Here we are on NAS 100, and this is how it looked the day of the trade. So we're taking a look at our chart. We can see the daily trend line that we drew on Sunday. We can see there's a 5-minute area of support here. And what we're doing is looking for a way that our strategy can play out easily. So we can see that there's a trend line here, but we could also create a trend line here on the 15-minute time frame. So we see that there's one touch here, 2, 3, and 4. So this is a 4-touch trend line. Okay, and after we draw a trend line, we're going to want to be sure to add an alert to the trend line. So you would click on the bar and you would add the alert, and there's the alert there. And once you do that, then when price reaches that area, you'll be alerted. So be sure that your volume is turned up on your laptop, and also if you have the TradingView app on your phone, then you will hear this alert on your phone also. You know, if you get distracted, you'll be alerted, or if you need to leave the computer or laptop for a few minutes, you would still be alerted as long as you had your phone or as long as you could hear your laptop. So using alerts is a good idea, and it's really helpful while you're trading. All right, so we can use our path tool to draw the break here. And then what we're doing is waiting for a retest. So we'll see if we get another retest here in this area. All right, and so that would be black for the 15-minute. And it may look like we've already retested, and we have a couple of times, but we know that we get our best momentum around the 9:30 open. And so that's when we're going to be trading. So we always wait for our trading window before we begin to trade. And we trade between 9:30 and 11. All right, so this is what our chart looked like at 8:15. So we'll fast forward a little bit. We can see there's our 8:30, 8:45. There's our 9 o'clock candle. And here's our 9:15 candle. All right, so we're waiting for price to come back up and retest this trend line or this zone. So what we'll do is be sure that we can remember that this is a 15-minute trend line, so we'll label it. We do have a supply area up here, so we could mark the supply area. And so this is the 15-minute time frame, so we would mark 15-minute supply like around in here. So let's see, we'll get our tool. And we usually go with the last big push up, should be about here. And we'll label that 15-minute supply. All right, so around in this area. So we know that price could bounce here on the trend line, or it could come up to this supply area. So let's see what happens next. All right, so here's our 9:30 candle. All right, and so that's how it looks on the 15-minute time frame. So clearly we have retested this trend line zone. We retested this area. And what we'll do is go down to the 5-minute to see how it looks. And so it looks like we almost have a 3-bar reversal. So we'll see how this candle looks on the 3-minute. Oh, and looks like within that 15-minute time frame, we do have a 3-bar reversal on the 3-minute. And we have one, here's our first bar at 9:30, here's the second at 9:33, and the third bar at 9:36. If we look at the 2-minute, we see that price is starting to go down. And so this is about where we entered the trade. So we'll take our short position tool, and we can show that we entered right about here with our stops above the high. And what we're doing is looking to go down to this area of support here. So this is an area of support, and it's also on our daily trend line. So we can expect that price may stop in this area. When we take a little bit off, we were thinking of taking some off at the first area of support or resistance, which could be this area here, since we see that price kind of stopped in this area or respected this area before it came up. All right. And so if we continue on, we can see that price did continue downward. So we were in the trade. Oh, and then look. All right, and so now we'll take a look to see how it played out in real time on our Hanko trade chart. Remember that this break and retest method works on indices, but it also works on gold and Forex pairs. Keep that in mind. This is a 9:30 open, and this is when there's plenty of momentum, and our signals are usually work out a little bit better, I think, around open between 9:30 and 11. So you wouldn't want to try something like this, like in this blue area here, like before open. You know, you really need to, it's important to wait until you're close to the 9:30 open, in my opinion. I'm a visual learner, so I like to see the colors on the chart. I have my Asian session here in light gray, the London session in dark gray, and this pre-market is in blue. And then finally, I know that it's time for me to trade when I see the green, and this is the 9:30 bell. And so if you'd like to learn how to create these sessions on your chart, you can comment sessions in the comments, and I'll be sure to include this in our next video. So the alerts do the watching and the plan does the work. Alerts. If you'd like help setting your alerts, I do have some one-on-one spots available. Just drop me a note. Comment, keep it simple if you're still here. If you're still here, it shows that you are persistent. You really want to learn, you're rewatching the video, and you're well on your way to refining your trading and securing more profit.